Carl voluntarily requested to go underwater with another comrade. However, just as the rescue began, the ship's hull collapsed again. The other comrade left them and ran towards the shore. Carl was the only one who could help. Fortunately, he succeeded. Afterward, the instructor even commended the deserter. Everyone knew this, but they all chose to remain silent. A black man may never receive a medal, but even though it was an injustice, Carl had no complaint. He had been constantly waiting for the tragic news of his father's passing. The strong Carl could no longer hold back. He went to the bar, but the owner took one look at him, noticed he was black, and told them they were out of alcohol. The instructor also stood up and said that blacks were unwelcome here. This infuriated Carl. He challenged the instructor to see who could hold their breath longer. If he lost, he would drop out of school. If the instructor won, he would agree to reinstate William. The instructor agreed to the undignified competition. The moment the water rose above their noses, the timing began. 20 minutes passed, and they remained expressionless, shaming each other with their eyes. 3 minutes and 15 seconds was the human limit. After 4 minutes, the instructor's nose began to bleed, but he didn't want to lose. It wasn't until you realized that he was about to kill someone that you rushed in to stop the game. Carl had clearly won. This competition earned Carl unprecedented respect. Back in the dormitory, Carl found the instructor already waiting for him. As soon as he spoke, he advised Carl to give up on the graduation exam. Even if he participated, he wouldn't let him pass. No fleet would hire a black diver. Carl stated that he had never thought of giving up. The next day, Carl disregarded the coach's words and still went to the exam venue. The assessment was simple. Assembling the components underwater would pass the test. After everyone entered the water, toolkits were thrown in one by one. When it was Carl's turn, the commander ordered to cut off Carl's equipment and randomly drop the kit. Tools were scattered everywhere. It was unfair to treat Carl this way. When he took off his helmet, he was already shivering from the cold. Soon, the temperature would drop in the evening. At this point, Carl had been in the sea for 9 hours. The instructor requested to let him come up. He firmly pulled Carl up. They dragged over an assembled device. Carl passed the test in 9 hours and 27 minutes.